Have you just had your scalp micropigmentation treatment performed, or you're thinking about getting one? In this video, we are going to discuss the essential steps that you need to take to ensure your treatment heals exactly how it should and that it lasts for a long time. In today's video, we are going to discuss a few things: the importance of aftercare, the steps that you need to take to ensure your treatment heals quickly and the pigment retains, and exactly how to look after your scalp micropigmentation in the following days after each session. So I always say to my clients that the difference between a good treatment and a great treatment is the aftercare. The better you follow the aftercare protocol that you have been provided by your artist, the better the appearance of your micropigmentation will look, the better the impressions will retain and carry over from each session, ensuring a consistent result is achieved. So if you're watching this video, feel free to reach out to me at any point for detailed aftercare instructions, tips on how to ensure your scalp micropigmentation treatment lasts, and if you have any concerns about a protocol that you have been provided. In my opinion, the first 5 days after each scalp micropigmentation session is crucial. 5 days is an easy number to remember, and there's a few things that you will need to avoid in the first 5 days. The biggest things are direct sunlight and sun exposure, heavy excessive sweating, water, and cutting your hair. After each session of scalp micropigmentation, you will notice some immediate side effects. Now, these are very mild and won't affect your social life in any way whatsoever. Each session, there will be a small amount of redness associated with the session, which will generally subside within 24 to 48 hours and will only look like some mild sunburn. You'll notice some very mild swelling and inflammation, which is not noticeable or distinctive to the human eye. Immediately after each session, we will clean the scalp before you leave, and then for the remainder of that day, there is nothing that you have to do except for keep your treatment clean. And you're probably wondering, how do you keep the scalp clean if you have to keep it dry? What I recommend is using some disposable water wipes. Generally speaking, baby wipes are pretty good if they're free from fragrance and alcohol and they're pH balanced and they're quite gentle on the skin. They are great for cleansing the scalp. And I'll often suggest to cleanse the scalp 2 to 3 times per day. So gently wipe over your scalp for the next 5 days after each session of micropigmentation. Your artist should also be able to provide some scalp micropigmentation specific aftercare lotions or tattoo specific healing lotions. These lotions generally should be light, non-greasy, free from fragrance, free from alcohol, and it's a bonus if they can contain some natural products. I'm a big fan of using natural products throughout the scalp micropigmentation aftercare process. I like to wait at least 24 hours before applying any aftercare lotion to the treated area. And then after 24 hours, we will then apply a small amount of a scalp micropigmentation or tattoo aftercare lotion to the treated area 2 to 3 times per day, depending on the product that you are using. We will continue the use of this product for 5 consecutive days. In those 5 days, we are also taking into consideration the things that we need to avoid: direct sun exposure, heavy excessive sweating, water, and cutting of the hair. During the 5 days that I've suggested that you avoid water, this isn't absolutely crucial and you don't need to overthink this aspect of the treatment. I usually will suggest either wearing a shower cap or having a body shower. If your scalp gets a little bit damp during this process, that's completely fine. Just pat it dry and move on. So after 5 days, you are able to gently cleanse the scalp in the shower with some lukewarm water and a gentle cleanser. Pat the scalp dry after your shower and apply a small amount of healing lotion each day until your second and third session. If it's your third and final session, I will usually suggest to continue the use of the healing lotion for 10 consecutive days. After the 5-day period, you are then able to start cutting your hair down to the desired length and slowly introducing exercise and things like that that are going to cause excessive heavy sweating. Mild sweat in the first 5 days is not going to be a major issue. For 2 weeks, I will generally suggest to not go swimming with your head under the water, as this can fade the pigment prematurely. And I will also suggest to avoid the use of any saunas or infrared saunas in this time frame. In the immediate days after your scalp micropigmentation treatment, you are able to wear a hat. The rule of thumb with the hat is only wear the hat when required. So if you feel like for any reason you need to put a hat on because your scalp is too red or you're not used to having your hair grow out for 5 days and you want to put a hat on for work or to duck to the shops, that's completely fine. When you are at home, or if you're driving in the car as an example, allow the scalp to breathe. The more the scalp can breathe, the better environment we're gonna achieve for a nice healed product. When you undergo scalp micropigmentation, the trauma that you will cause to the skin during the session is very mild. There is no pain associated with the treatment after your session has completed. During the session, you may notice some mild discomfort, especially around the hairline and the temple region, but generally speaking, it's all pretty bearable. When we are discussing scalp micropigmentation aftercare, it can seem a little bit daunting to you, and there is a lot of information that you need to take in, although it's really not too difficult, and it's not something that should sway your decision when considering having a scalp micropigmentation or SMP treatment performed. And the process is generally made very easy with the steps outlined, and it becomes part of your daily routine for the next 2 to 3 weeks as you're undergoing treatments. So now that your treatment is considered finished and healed, you may be wondering, what are some of the long-term steps that you need to take to maintain your scalp micropigmentation treatment? Maintenance for scalp micropigmentation is, generally speaking, pretty easy. There's the obvious ones of maintaining your desired hair length, often short enough to match the treatment to ensure a seamless transition between the client's real hair and the treatment. Every now and then I suggest applying a small amount of moisturizing lotion just to maintain youthful, balanced and optimized skin. We don't want excessive oil production or dry skin or anything like that. So a good rule of thumb is to apply a light moisturizing lotion after each time you cut your hair. Most clients will be cutting their hair every 2 to 3 days. For clients undergoing a density style treatment where we increase the thickness of their hair, the maintenance is often even easier for these candidates. So sun exposure and scalp micropigmentation long term. This is something that you have to be mindful of, but not overly cautious of. The best line of defense for a scalp micropigmentation treatment and the sun is a hat. But I understand that not everyone wants to wear a hat or is going to attend a function where a hat is acceptable. Let's say, for an example, you had an important lunch or a wedding to attend and it was an extremely hot sunny day and you knew you were going to be in direct sunlight and you were a little bit worried about your scalp micropigmentation. You can actually apply a small amount of 50 SPF sun cream or sunblock to protect your scalp micropigmentation from harmful UV rays. If, for an example, you're just going to the beach or you're mowing the lawn or something similar, I do suggest to just put a hat on at that point. Now, the effects of sun exposure over time on scalp micropigmentation are not profound. If a treatment has been performed correctly, you should expect to only have to undergo 1 touch-up session every 2 to 3 years. The difference between a scalp that's had a lot of sun exposure and not so much sun exposure is sometimes minimal, depending on the individual, depending on the client's skin tone, undertones, nationality, and genetic structure. What will actually determine how long a scalp micropigmentation treatment lasts is the individual's metabolism and immune system. So how quickly they metabolize and break down the pigments. You can have individuals who have absolutely no sun exposure and work in an office 10 hours a day, and they will continue to break down the pigment faster than someone who works outdoors in the sunshine all day, all year round. So I'd like to thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. I hope if you are considering getting scalp micropigmentation, it's made the decision a little bit easier. If you've just had scalp micropigmentation done, I hope you've learned a little bit about how to care for your SMP, and it's going to give you even better results. If there's any questions about scalp micropigmentation aftercare that you feel I haven't answered in this video, please feel free to reach out or comment them down below, or check out some of the other videos that we have on this channel in regards to SMP and scalp micropigmentation. If you found this video helpful in any way, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.